Young and the Restless. Phyllis goes full rogue, brutal betrayal shatters the Abbotts. Young and the Restless gives Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, ready to steal the AI back from Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. But I expect she is going to go rogue and betray the Abbotts when she starts selfishly working her own angle yet again. We're going to talk about how Phyllis may flip the script after stealing Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn, AI back from the mustache. So recently Phyllis cut a deal with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, that she would steal the AI back from Victor. But only if the Abbotts sign over Marchetti to Summer Newman, Allison Lanier. Now the deal was she'd steal it and give it to them to destroy. And no surprise, Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, was more than happy to make the deal. And I'm sure Phyllis demanded that they go ahead and sign Marchetti over before she does anything. So, the Abbotts want the AI out of Victor's hands so they can destroy it. And Victor can't run power mad and ruin anybody else's company or life. Phyllis proposes a devious new alliance with Kane on Young and the Restless. But this week, Phyllis confirmed that she has other plans for the AI that she's going to steal back from Victor. So Phyllis goes to Kane with a peace offering. She brings him a little wooden puzzle. Phyllis got it for him. Because Kane likes puzzles and mazes. I guess he liked it because there was one at the chateau. And Phyllis wants them to be friends. And she's telling Kane they can make things happen together. So, Phyllis is all about, Kane, we make a good team L, we shouldn't waste time hating each other because it's boring. And Phyllis claims she came there with humility and thinks that them working together is the answer. Kane seems skeptical. Because you can't trust her. We all know that. And he doesn't think Phyllis needs him for anything. But she disagrees with Kane and says they need each other. Phyllis says they're perfect for each other. And then she told Kane she wants to turn around and use the AI against Victor to take over Newman Enterprises. And Kane is intrigued by the idea of running Newman Enterprises. But he doesn't like it when Phyllis calls him Aristotle Dumas. He's insisting he doesn't want to be that person anymore. But Phyllis thinks Kane should let the Dumas inside him come out and play. Lily walks in on a shocking kiss. Will Damian Kane side with Phyllis on YandR? And then Phyllis kisses Kane, and even though it doesn't look like he's kissing Phyllis back, of course, that's when Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, walks through the door of the Kane's train and is horrified, even though it's definitely one-sided on Phyllis's behalf. I do suspect Lily assumes the worst of Kane because he said he was done with Phyllis. But there she is kissing him. So I think the damage might be done with Lily, at least for now, unless she gives Kane the chance to explain and gives him the benefit of the doubt, which I don't know if she will. Young and the Restless. Will Kane push Phyllis away or give in? So he may stick to his guns and tell Phyllis, kick rocks. But then again, Kane seems very intrigued by Phyllis's proposal. And despite Kane playing it cool about Victor destroying Arabesque, Kane doesn't like that Victor used his own AI against him. So, Kane might be considering doing this thing and working with Phyllis for revenge. But on the other hand, Kane claims to want to be a better man so he could turn Phyllis down. Especially if he can get Lily to believe him that Phyllis was kissing him and he wasn't into it at all. But if Kane thinks Lily is 100% done with him, he might throw in with Phyllis because he's angry and wants to lash out at something and someone, and Victor's a good target. Whether or not Kane decides to team up with Phyllis though, I think she's going to go for it with the AI. And of course, even if Kane works with Phyllis to destroy Victor, we could still see Kane giving Phyllis the boot once Lily's back in town after Crystal Khalil's maternity leave is over. Phyllis's ultimate revenge plan against Victor Newman. Either way, whether or not Kane plays along, I'm sure Phyllis is going to go ahead with her plan. And if she can steal the AI back, I can totally see her going rogue and not giving it to Jack or Billy like she promised. She hates Victor, and now Phyllis has even more reasons to destroy him. She's hated Victor for a long time, for a lot of reasons, for a lot of very good reasons. And he just screwed Phyllis over again. So, I think that iced the vendetta cake, and she's not going to stop on Young and the Restless. And honestly, Victor kind of deserves a little payback and a little karma coming his way to kick him in the bottom. I'd be happy to see Phyllis deliver a little butt whooping on Victor, because honestly, Phyllis is the person that Victor would probably most hate to defeat him even more so than Jack, because Victor does not see Phyllis as a worthy opponent. So, I think it would kill Victor if Phyllis wrecked Newman Enterprises. And let's be real, a lot of fans are sick of Victor always going after the Abbotts for revenge and playing God with people's lives. For way too long, Victor has gotten away with everything. So, if Phyllis goes rogue and takes him down, I think that's karma long overdue. Young and the Restless. The Abbotts' reaction and Nikki's shocking ultimatum. And really, Billy already expects Phyllis to betray them, and Jack knows she can't be trusted. However, as long as Phyllis keeps the AI out of Victor's hands and only uses it against Newman Enterprises, I think Billy, Jack, and Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, might sit back and laugh. It is about time that Victor gets what he deserves, and somebody finally puts him in his place. And honestly, why not Phyllis? Over the years, Victor has done so much bad to her. So, I'd kind of be here for Phyllis taking a wrecking ball to Newman Enterprises. Nikki Newman's Melody Thomas Scott, already ready to leave Victor, and she just demanded he turn the AI over to her and said she'll destroy it so that he can't use it against Jack. So, right now, Victor is faced with Nikki's ultimatum. And she said she's sick of all of this because whether Victor likes it or not, Jack saved her life. And basically, Victor's got one chance. If he doesn't give the AI to Nikki or let her stand there and watch his tech team delete it, then I say Victor deserves whatever happens next. Young and the Restless, Victor in for a rude awakening. Either he needs to have some sort of personal epiphany, a Christmas miracle, and does what Nikki asks and gives the AI to her, otherwise Victor may get a rude awakening that's been a long time coming. I don't think he knows he's at a crossroads that's so serious. But Phyllis is ready to pounce, and I think she's going to take action soon whether or not Kane decides to be her co-conspirator. The potential downfall of Newman Enterprises and Victor's future on YandR. And honestly, it could be amazing. Victor was just talking about how Jack's a Nepo baby who was given everything and Victor made his own fortune with no help. So even if Phyllis ruins Newman, Victor could make a comeback, and that would be a tale of redemption that I'd like to see. But I do suspect Kane is going to be on board with Phyllis, especially after Lily takes off. But either way, Victor could very well lose his empire, or at the very least Phyllis corridors of Genoa City, where power, passion, and peril collide. One woman's shocking betrayal has left fans gasping. Phyllis Summers is going full rogue. For decades, she has navigated love, loyalty, and business with a deft hand. But her latest moves have shaken the very foundation of the Abbott empire. The question on everyone's mind is simple yet terrifying. How far will Phyllis go? And who will pay the price? The Abbotts, long considered the royal family of Genoa City, are no strangers to chaos. From boardroom power plays to tumultuous family dynamics, their lives have been a soap opera staple for decades. But Phyllis's latest act of defiance isn't just another romantic entanglement or a fleeting grudge. It's a calculated, almost ruthless maneuver that could leave Victor Abbott questioning everything he's built. The seeds of this betrayal have been simmering quietly, hidden beneath layers of charm and wit. Phyllis, ever the strategist, has been maneuvering behind the scenes, leveraging every alliance, secret, and weakness in the Abbott dynasty. Sources close to the scene report that Phyllis's ultimate goal is a seismic shift in control of Newman Enterprises. And by extension, she could reshape Genoa City's power hierarchy entirely. It all began with subtle moves that, in retrospect, were ominous warning signs. Phyllis's recent interactions with key players, including Adam Newman, had fans scratching their heads. Was it a temporary flirtation, or the first brushstrokes of a grander scheme? The truth, as viewers are beginning to see, is far more dangerous. By building alliances with those who stand to benefit from the Abbotts' destabilization, Phyllis has positioned herself as a shadow queen, an unpredictable force capable of toppling one of the city's most formidable dynasties. The betrayal hit its crescendo during a high-stakes board meeting that has left viewers reeling. In a stunning twist, Phyllis leveraged insider knowledge to manipulate critical corporate decisions in her favor. Executives loyal to the Abbotts were blindsided, while Victor and Jack Abbott were left scrambling to regain control. This wasn't merely a business maneuver. It was a personal coup, a strategic strike that cut deep into the family's sense of unity and trust. Fans have long speculated about the dynamic between Phyllis and the Abbotts, particularly Victor. Their history is layered, filled with moments of flirtation, friction, and occasional camaraderie. Yet, Phyllis's latest actions suggest a turning point where personal vendettas intertwine with business ambitions. It's clear that Phyllis isn't simply seeking revenge. She's asserting dominance in a city where power is the ultimate currency. The fallout has been dramatic. Jack Abbott, usually the level-headed son, is reeling from the unexpected maneuver. He faces the double blow of professional humiliation and personal betrayal. As viewers know, Jack's relationship with Phyllis has always been complicated, teetering between romantic history and boardroom rivalry. Now he must grapple with the reality that someone he once trusted implicitly has orchestrated a stunning betrayal that jeopardizes not just his position, but the Abbott family legacy itself. Meanwhile, the ripple effects extend beyond corporate intrigue. Family tensions have intensified, particularly between Jack and his siblings. The Abbotts are now forced to question their alliances, their loyalties, and their very instincts. Phyllis's strategic brilliance has exposed vulnerabilities that many thought were ironclad, and the family's attempts to regroup have been fraught with uncertainty and fear. What makes this storyline particularly riveting is Phyllis's multifaceted approach. She isn't a one-dimensional villain. She's a master manipulator, a savvy strategist who knows how to exploit both emotion and ambition. Her methods combine psychological insight with calculated risk, making her a formidable adversary. Viewers are witnessing a character who embodies both chaos and control, unpredictability and precision, a combination that keeps everyone, including the Abbotts, on edge. Moreover, this betrayal has ignited speculation about potential alliances and enmities. Could Adam Newman secretly be aiding Phyllis? Will Summer Abbott rise to challenge her? Or will the Abbotts themselves discover a way to turn the tables, using Phyllis's cunning against her? Each twist promises to be more explosive than the last, with the city's balance of power hanging by a thread. Phyllis's personal life, too, is under scrutiny. Her romantic entanglements, often the source of her greatest triumphs and deepest regrets, could play a pivotal role in her ongoing schemes. Genoa City watchers know that love and betrayal are often intertwined, and Phyllis has long walked the line between passion and ambition. How she navigates her personal loyalties while executing such a ruthless plan will likely determine her ultimate fate, and whether her rogue actions lead to victory or catastrophe. Social media and fan forums are ablaze with discussion, theories, and predictions. The collective fascination with Phyllis's audacity speaks to her character's enduring appeal. She embodies the unpredictable nature of soap opera storytelling, a figure who can simultaneously charm, manipulate, and terrify. This narrative arc has already generated record engagement, with viewers eagerly dissecting every scene, every glance, every subtle cue for hints of what might come next. As the story unfolds, one truth is undeniable. Phyllis Summers has reinvented herself as a force to be reckoned with. Her rogue strategy challenges the Abbotts' dominance, disrupts the city's delicate power structure, and sets the stage for one of the most riveting storylines in recent memory. The coming weeks promise high-stakes drama, intense confrontations, and shocking revelations that could alter Genoa City forever. For the Abbotts, the lesson is harsh but clear. Trust can be weaponized, loyalty can be exploited, and even the most secure dynasty can be shaken when ambition meets cunning. Phyllis's betrayal is more than a plot twist. It's a seismic event that underscores the fragile balance of power in a city where every secret has consequences. In the end, Phyllis's full rogue transformation represents the perfect storm of personal ambition, strategic brilliance, and dramatic flair. Whether she will succeed in her audacious plan or face the wrath of the Abbotts remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Genoa City, and the audience, is watching, captivated by a betrayal so daring it will be remembered for years to come. Young and the Restless fans have never had a reason to look away, and with Phyllis Summers at the center of this storm, every episode promises to be a roller coaster of emotion, intrigue, and jaw-dropping drama. The Abbotts may have ruled the city for decades, but in this battle of wits and wills, Phyllis has proven she's a contender no one can ignore. Genoa City may never recover from this betrayal, but one thing is certain. In the world of Young and the Restless, survival belongs to the cunning, and Phyllis Summers has just proven she's at the Genoa City, where secrets and schemes run as deep as the city's darkest alleys. A storm is quietly brewing, one that promises to shake the foundations of the Abbott and Newman empires. And at the center of this brewing chaos is none other than Phyllis Summers, the woman who has made a career out of survival, reinvention, and most importantly, manipulation. But this time, her ambitions are pointing her toward an unlikely ally, Kane Ashby. Phyllis has always had a knack for reading people, spotting weaknesses, and exploiting them at precisely the right moment. Over the past few months, she's watched Kane navigate the treacherous waters of corporate politics and family loyalty, and she's noticed something that others have overlooked. Kane is vulnerable. Despite his outward confidence and polished charm, he's struggling to maintain control over the Abbott family's empire, while dealing with the constant pressure of maintaining his moral compass in a world where morality is often negotiable. It all started at a charity gala hosted by Newman Enterprises. Phyllis, ever the social chameleon, floated through the crowd with her trademark grace and a calculating smile, observing everyone around her. She saw the tension in Kane's posture when he encountered Victor Newman, the steel-fisted patriarch who commands loyalty and fear in equal measure. She saw the hesitation in his eyes when Jack Abbott cornered him about the latest corporate merger. And most importantly, she noticed the unspoken frustration, the gnawing feeling that Kane was trapped, squeezed from every angle by obligations and expectations that seemed impossible to satisfy. Phyllis knew that she could turn that frustration into opportunity. Later that evening, Phyllis found Kane alone on the balcony, the city lights glimmering behind him like 1,000 secrets waiting to be exposed. She approached with a casual smile, though every inch of her body language radiated intent. "Kane," she said, her voice smooth, "it looks like you've got a lot on your plate." Kane looked up, startled but not entirely displeased to see her. "Phyllis, yeah, you could say that. It's complicated." Phyllis tilted her head, feigning sympathy while running calculations in her mind. "Complicated, huh? You know, sometimes the only way to simplify things is to find someone who understands and can help." Kane raised an eyebrow, intrigued but cautious. "And you're offering to be that person?" Phyllis smiled slyly. "Not just me, Kane. We could be each other's advantage. Think about it. You've got ambition, I've got influence, and together, we could shake Genoa City to its core." The words hung in the air, electric and dangerous. Kane, despite his better judgment, felt a thrill at the suggestion. Aligning with Phyllis Summers was risky. Too risky, perhaps. But he knew that in the corporate battlefield of Genoa City, alliances could make or break fortunes. "You're talking about a full-blown alliance?" Kane asked carefully. Phyllis leaned closer, her eyes glittering with mischief. "Exactly. But not just any alliance. I'm talking about a strategic partnership. We combine our resources, leverage our contacts, and maybe, just maybe, we finally get what we've been chasing all along. The power to call the shots without constantly looking over our shoulders." Kane couldn't deny the appeal. The Abbott family had been relentless, and the Newman empire was a minefield of rivals and family drama. Partnering with Phyllis could give him the leverage he needed to protect his own interests, and perhaps exact a little revenge on those who had underestimated him. "What's in it for you?" Kane asked, his voice wary but tinged with curiosity. Phyllis laughed softly, a sound that was equal parts seductive and cunning. "Kane, you know me. I don't do anything without a reason. Let's just say that aligning with you could be mutually profitable. And let's be honest, I could use someone like you in my corner. Jack, Victor, they're always watching, always waiting for me to slip. But with you? I might just have the upper hand for once." Kane studied her carefully. There was no mistaking her sincerity. Well, at least the sincerity in her own eyes. Phyllis had a way of making her schemes feel like genuine offers of friendship. And despite the red flags, Kane felt a rare sense of exhilaration. "All right," Kane said finally, a slow smile spreading across his face. "I'm in. But we do this my way. No unnecessary risks, no loose ends." Phyllis's eyes sparkled. "Oh, Kane, when have I ever done anything the easy way?" With that, a new alliance was forged, one that promised to disrupt the delicate balance of power in Genoa City. But little did Kane know, Phyllis had her own plans tucked away, secret contingencies that would ensure she remained in control, no matter what. Over the next few days, the two began to quietly coordinate their moves, each one a careful chess piece in a larger game. Phyllis was relentless in her pursuit of leverage, feeding Kane insider information and subtly undermining his rivals. Meanwhile, Kane, though cautious, found himself relying on Phyllis in ways he hadn't expected. Her network of contacts, her strategic mind, her ability to predict the Abbott family's next moves. These were assets he couldn't ignore. But in true Phyllis fashion, the alliance wasn't just about business. She also began to test the waters personally, weaving herself into Kane's life in ways that blurred professional boundaries. Every conversation, every encounter, carried an undercurrent of tension, teasing the possibility that their alliance could evolve into something far more complicated and far more dangerous. As word of their collaboration began to leak, through whispers in hallways, subtle hints in corporate meetings, and carefully planted rumors, Genoa City began to buzz with speculation. Jack Abbott, ever perceptive, sensed the shift immediately. Victor Newman, as always, remained an unyielding force, but even he couldn't ignore the subtle power plays unfolding before him. And at the center of it all, Phyllis Summers smiled to herself. She had Kane exactly where she wanted him, intrigued, invested, and unknowingly dancing to her tune. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with, but only if Kane trusted her completely. And trust, Phyllis knew, was a weapon she wielded better than anyone in Genoa City. As the city braced for the fallout of this new alliance, one thing was certain. In a town where loyalties shift like sand and betrayal is always just a heartbeat away, Phyllis Summers had once again reminded everyone why she was one of the most dangerous players in the game. And with Kane Ashby by her side, the Abbott family, and perhaps even the Newman Empire, would soon feel the full force of her ambition. In Genoa City, alliances are fleeting, and power is everything. But with Phyllis and Kane working in tandem, the city was about to experience a reckoning like never before. And somewhere in the shadows, Victor Newman clenched his jaw, sensing the storm that was coming, and knowing that even he might not be able to stop it. In the tangled web of Genoa City's elite, nothing ever stays quiet for long. Secrets, lies, and forbidden liaisons lurk behind every corner, and the latest twist in the saga promises to shake the foundations of the Newman-Abbott feud. On the upcoming episodes of The Young and the Restless, tensions skyrocket as Lily Winters stumbles upon a moment she never expected. A kiss that could ignite a firestorm across the business and personal lives of everyone involved. The scene unfolds at Newman Enterprises, where Phyllis Summers, ever the schemer, has been orchestrating a plan that could potentially shift the balance of power in her favor. For months, Phyllis has walked the fine line between charm and ruthlessness, playing both sides of the boardroom and the bedroom with equal dexterity. Her eyes have been fixed on not just corporate influence but personal leverage, and now, she's brought Damian Kane into the fold, a man whose ambition rivals her own. Damian Kane, a newcomer whose shadow looms large over the corporate world of Genoa City, has proven himself to be cunning, strategic, and surprisingly perceptive when it comes to reading people. Phyllis recognized a kindred spirit in him, someone willing to bend rules, blur moral lines, and do whatever it takes to come out on top. Together, their alliance has the potential to dominate Newman Enterprises, leaving Victor Newman and his loyalists scrambling. But what Damian doesn't yet know is just how deeply Phyllis will entangle his loyalties, not only in business but in matters of the heart. It is in this charged atmosphere that Lily Winters enters, unsuspecting and determined. Recently, Lily has been trying to rebuild her life after a series of personal betrayals, and her focus has been squarely on protecting her family's interests. She knows all too well the stakes at Newman Enterprises, having navigated corporate intrigue herself. Yet nothing could have prepared her for the sight that greets her in the executive suite. Phyllis and Damian, locked in a kiss that seems both intimate and strategic. The moment is electric, filled with shock and disbelief. Lily's mind races. Phyllis, always the master manipulator, wears a smug smile, as though daring Lily to react. Damian appears slightly taken aback, caught between the thrill of the forbidden and the weight of potential repercussions. For Lily, this is more than just an unwelcome surprise, it's a line crossed, a betrayal in plain view. She's forced to confront a question she never expected. Can Damian Kane, a man whose loyalties she assumed would always favor integrity, really side with someone like Phyllis Summers? The implications are immediate and far-reaching. If Damian aligns with Phyllis, the Newman-Abbott power struggle could tilt irreversibly. Victor Newman, who has long been the kingpin of the corporate battlefield, would find himself contending not just with Phyllis's cunning, but with Damian's calculated strategy. A combination that might just be unstoppable. Lily, ever the protector of her family's legacy, must think fast. She cannot afford hesitation, yet the emotional sting of witnessing the kiss clouds her judgment. Meanwhile, Phyllis basks in the chaos she has sown. She knows that her influence over Damian is only growing. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every strategic gesture is designed to secure his allegiance. Phyllis has always thrived in the gray areas, manipulating the hearts and minds of those around her. For Damian, the kiss is a test as much as it is a temptation. Will he let desire cloud his judgment, or will he recognize the tactical advantage of remaining neutral, or even siding with Lily? Lily, meanwhile, is not a woman to be underestimated. She confronts Phyllis with a mix of fury and disbelief, demanding answers that she knows may never come in full honesty. The tension between them is palpable, a collision of ambition, morality, and personal grievance. Lily's presence forces Damian to make a decision, not just for himself, but for the future of Newman Enterprises. Will he prioritize loyalty to the woman who has captured his intrigue and perhaps his heart? Or will he step back and reconsider where his alliances should truly lie? Fans of YandR know that no moment of passion is ever purely personal, especially when it involves Phyllis Summers. Every kiss, Every glance and every secret meeting is a chess move in a much larger game. For Damian Kane, this is his initiation into the ruthless politics of Genoa City. For Lily, it is a wake-up call that even the most careful plans can unravel in an instant. And for viewers, it is a cliffhanger moment, filled with suspense, drama, and the promise of more shocking developments to come. The fallout from this encounter promises to be explosive. Will Lily attempt to win Damian over, using both her intellect and emotional insight to sway him back to the side of caution? Or will Phyllis tighten her grip, using charm and strategic allure to secure an ally who could redefine the corporate hierarchy? The answers will not come easily, and every choice made in the coming episodes will ripple across the lives of those involved. What makes this storyline especially compelling is the layered complexity of the characters. Phyllis is never just a villain. Her motivations are rooted in survival, ambition, and an undeniable drive to protect herself in a world where loyalty is often fleeting. Damian Kane is a mirror to that ambition, equally capable of brilliance and moral compromise. Lily, on the other hand, represents both conscience and calculated strategy, a reminder that even in a city as cutthroat as Genoa, there are those who still value honor and family. As the drama unfolds, viewers will be left wondering, can love and loyalty coexist in a world ruled by power and deceit? Will Damian Kane's allegiance ultimately shift the balance? And if so, who will emerge victorious? Phyllis's cunning or Lily's determination? One thing is certain. In Genoa City, nothing is ever simple, and every kiss, every conversation, and every decision carries consequences far beyond the immediate moment. The coming episodes promise heart-pounding suspense, strategic maneuvering, and emotional confrontations that will leave audiences on the edge of their seats. Phyllis Summers has proven time and again that she is a force to be reckoned with, and Damian Kane may very well be her most dangerous ally yet, or her most spectacular downfall. And in the middle of it all stands Lily Winters, watching, calculating, and ready to act when the moment calls for it. In Genoa City, alliances are temporary, trust is fragile, and every kiss has the potential to spark a war. The question on everyone's lips: will Damian Kane side with Phyllis, or will he answer to a higher calling of loyalty and conscience? Only time will tell, but one thing is undeniable: drama, betrayal, and shocking twists are coming, and no character will be untouched by the chaos that is about to erupt. For fans of The Young and the Restless, the next episodes promise the kind of gripping storytelling that keeps viewers hooked. Love, betrayal, and the ever-present tension of who will come out on top in the relentless game of power, passion, and revenge.